This is a day of stillness and of peace. I'm Willie from the Ozarks, forgiveness teacher of the world. And we're in the section, What is the Real World? Lesson 291 here on Wednesday, October the 18th of 2023, in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Christ's vision looks through me today. His sight shows me all things forgiven and at peace, and offers this same vision to the world. And I accept this vision in its name, both for myself and for the world as well. What loveliness we look upon today. What holiness we see surrounding us. And it is given us to recognize it is a holiness in which we share. It is the holiness of God Himself. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This day my mind is quiet to receive the thoughts you offer me, and I accept what comes from you instead of from myself. I do not know the way to you, but you are wholly certain. Father, lead your Son along the quiet path that ends in you. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? This is a day of stillness and of peace. Okay, well, our associated reading is What is the Real World? And I thought we'd try something a little different if the wind cooperates with me. And I can, let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can sing our song. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. What is the real world? The real world is a symbol like the rest of what perception offers. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses to terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except eyes forgiveness blesses, so they see a world where terror is impossible, and witnesses to fear cannot be found. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world, a sure correction for the sights of and fears, the sounds of battle which your world contains. The real world shows a world seen differently through quiet eyes and with a mind at peace. Nothing but rest is there. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard. For nothing here remains outside forgiveness. Nothing here remains outside forgiveness. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard. For nothing here remains outside forgiveness, and the sights are gentle. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. What need has such a mind for thoughts of death, attack, and murder? What can it perceive surrounding it but safety, love, and joy? What is there it would choose to be condemned, and what is there it would judge against? The world it sees arises from a mind at peace within itself. No danger lurks in anything it sees, for it is kind. For it is kind, and only kindness does it look upon. The real world is a symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's Son no longer sleeps. His waking eyes perceive the sure reflection of his Father's love, the certain promise that he is redeemed. The real world signifies the end of dreams has come. The real world signifies the end of dreams. The real world signifies the end of time, for its perception makes time purposeless. The Holy Spirit has no need of time when it has served his purpose. Now he waits but that one instant more for God to take his final step, and time has disappeared, taking perception with it as it goes, and leaving but the truth to be itself. That instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God. And as we look upon a world forgiven, it is he who calls to us and comes to us, comes to take us home, reminding us of our identity, which our forgiveness has restored to us. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Now, Jed, you can't be sitting here on my guitar. I know you want to get out of the rain. I've got an umbrella up. He was a little bit trying to crowd me in. I couldn't hardly even play my guitar. And we'll get better at that song. We'll be singing that chord progression for the next 10 days, and maybe we'll get a little better at it, huh? What is the real world? And this is a day of stillness and of peace. Let's go look at our text reading. The truth behind illusions. And we're ready for, in the truth behind illusions, let's get started on that. And we're doing things shaking things up a little differently today. The truth behind illusions, which is in chapter 30, section 5, the truth behind illusions. Let's go ahead and take a moment, and while you're turning there, let me tell you about what's going on around the world today. It's Alaska Day, BRA Day, Breast Reconstruction Day, Developmental Language Disorder Awareness Day, Global Dignity Day, Hagfish Day. Hagfish are a fish that have a skull but no vertebral column. They are in the genus, what is the genus of Myxine? Myxine? Myxine, maybe? And there's 76 species of hagfish. Hard-Boiled Guy-Girl Day, which is a detective fictional type writing. International Necktie Day, it's my necktie. International Print Day, Love Your Body Day, Meatloaf Appreciation Day, Medical Assistance Recognition Day, National Chocolate Cup Medical Assistance, for those assistants in medical procedures and whatnot. Healers. Thank you, healers. National Chocolate Cupcake Days, National No Beard Day, Newspaper Comic Strip Appreciation Day, Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce, Thank Your Cleaner Day, and thank those who help you clean. Unity Day, and that's one of the things in A Course of Love that it talks about that I've always thought was a good thing, is it said, keep the one thought of unity in your mind always. It'll help you on your way. So today is Unity Day and World Menopause Day. And I have another Other Side NDE, woman drowns, see past family and told powerful message. An NDE at 17 minutes and 49 seconds. Her name is Wanda Hawk. And I found it to be quite encouraging. She had several things to say. And I want to tell you about another mushroom. It's the pearl oyster mushroom, the Pleurotus austriatus. Fruiting temperature 55 to 75 according to Fungi Perfecti. Oyster mushrooms have long been a favorite mushroom hunt for mushroom hunters, commonly collected on both hardwood logs and stumps. Probably the easiest to grow of the species we offer. Our strain is known for its productivity. This aggressive mushroom is one of the most common edible fungi, thriving on hardwoods throughout North America. So if you have a wood lot that you want to manage, consider some of these fungi. The pearl oyster, he says they're easy to grow, the Pleurotus austriatus. And they're really aggressive, so what that tells me is it helps break down your stumps after you've cut your wood. I showed you that stump yesterday at the end where and I wouldn't encourage you to grow a mushrooms on that particular stump just because it wasn't freshly cut. You want to colonize your mushrooms, when they're fresh cut, when the tree's still been alive and you've cut it. So anyway, don't cut your best and leave your worst of your trees. By the way, cut your worst and leave your genetically nice, beautiful trees for seed and mother trees. The truth behind illusions. And of course, today, let's take with us, this is a day of stillness and of peace. You will attack what does not satisfy, and thus you will not see you made it up. You always fight illusions, for the truth behind them is so lovely and so still in loving gentleness. Were you were aware of it, you would forget defensiveness entirely and rush to its embrace. The truth could never be attacked, and this you knew when you made idols. They were made that this might be forgotten. You attack but false ideas and never truthful ones. All idols are the false idea you made to fill the gap you think arose between yourself and what is true. And you attack them for the things you think they represent. What lies beyond them cannot be attacked. Paragraph 50. And this is in chapter 30. Maybe I should have reminded that. The new beginning, and this is under the truth behind delusions, section Roman numeral 5. We're now read paragraph 50. The wearying, dissatisfying gods you made are blown up children's toys. A child is frightened when a wooden head springs up as a closed box is opened suddenly, or when a soft and silent woolly bear begins to squeak as he takes hold of it. The rules he made for boxes and for bears have failed him and have broken his, in quotes, control of what surrounds him. And he is afraid because he thought the rules protected him. Now must he learn the boxes and the bears did not deceive him, broke no rules, nor mean his world is made chaotic and unsafe. He was mistaken. He misunderstood what made him safe and thought that it had left. The gap that is not there is filled with toys in countless forms, and each one seems to break the rules you set for it. It never was the thing you thought. It must appear to break your rules for safety since the rules were wrong. But you are not endangered. You can laugh at popping heads and squeaking toys, as does the child who learns they are no threat to him. Yet while he likes to play with them, he still perceives them as obeying rules he made for his enjoyment. So there still are rules which they can seem to break and frighten him. Yet is he at the mercy of his toys? And can they represent a threat to him? 52. Reality observes the laws of God, and not the rules you set. It is His laws which guarantee your safety. All illusions that you believe about yourself obey no laws. They seem to dance a little while according to the rules you set for them, but then they fall and cannot rise again. They are but toys, my children. Do not grieve for them. Their dancing never brought you joy, but neither were they things to frighten you, nor make you safe if they obeyed your rules. They must be neither cherished nor attacked, but merely looked upon as children's toys without a single meaning of their own. See one in them, see a meaning in them, and you will see them all. See none in them, and they will touch you not. See a meaning in them, and you will see them all. See one in them, and you will see them all. See none in them, and they will touch you not. 53. Appearances deceive because they are appearances and not reality. Dwell not on them in any form. They but obscure reality, and they bring fear because they hide the truth. Do not attack what you have made to let you be deceived, for thus you prove that you have been deceived. Attack has power to make illusions real, yet what it makes is nothing. Who could be made fearful by a power that can have no real effects at all? What could it be but an illusion, making things appear like to itself? Look calmly at its toys and understand that they are idols which but dance to vain desires. Give them not your worship, for they are not there. Yet this is equally forgotten in attack. God's Son needs no defense against his dreams. His idols do not threaten him at all. His one mistake is that he thinks them real. What can the power of illusions do? 54. Appearances can but deceive the mind that wants to be deceived. Appearances can deceive the mind that but wants to be deceived. And you can make a simple choice that will forever place you far beyond perception. You need not concern yourself with how this will be done, for this you cannot understand. But you will understand that mighty changes have been quickly brought about when you decide one very simple thing. You do not want whatever you believe an idol gives. You do not want whatever you believe an idol gives. For thus the Son of God declares that he is free of idols, and thus is he free. 55. Salvation is a paradox indeed. What could it be except a happy dream? It asks you but that you forgive all things that no one ever did. It asks forgiveness, or happy dream says, here's what the happy dream asks. It asks you, but that you forgive all things that no one ever did, to overlook what is not there, and not to look upon the unreal as reality. You are but asked to let your will be done and seek no longer for the things you do not want. And you are asked to let yourself be free of all the dreams of what you never were, and seek no more to substitute the strength of idle wishes for the will of God. In the last paragraph, 56, here does the dream of separation start to fade and disappear. For here the gap that is not there begins to be perceived without the toys of terror that you made. No more than this is asked. Be glad indeed salvation asks so little, not so much. It asks for nothing in reality, and even in illusions it but asks forgiveness be the substitute for fear. Such is the only rule for happy dreams. The gap is emptied of the toys of fear, and then its unreality is plain. Dreams are for nothing, and the Son of God can have no need of them. They offer him no single thing that he could ever want. He is delivered from illusions by his will, and but restored to what he is. What could God's plan for his salvation be, except a means to give him to himself? Wow, isn't that wonderful? It looks like our ducks are coming up here to see if I got some food for them. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Christ's vision looks through me today. His sight shows me all things forgiven and at peace, and offers this same vision to the world. And I accept this vision in its name, both for myself and for the world as well. What loveliness we look upon today. What holiness we see surrounding us. And it is given us to recognize it is a holiness in which we share. It is the holiness of God himself. This is a day of stillness and of peace. And the prayer says, this day my mind is quiet to receive the thoughts you offer me, and I accept what comes from you instead of from myself. I do not know the way to you, but you are wholly certain. Father, lead your Son along the quiet path that ends in you. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. This is a day of stillness and of peace. So let's let this be a day of stillness and of peace as we go about our Father's business. Do the best you can at trying to sit quietly for a few minutes in the morning and again in the evening, and just allow God to teach you. You know, if you have some things to ask God, well, ask him, but then let your mind be still and quiet. It's what I call listening prayer. Let your prayer be that of a quiet listening. Maybe focus on your breathing as you say to yourself, this is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. The real world is a symbol like the rest of what perception offers, yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes. Forgiveness, bless so they see a world where terror is impossible, and witnesses to fear cannot be found. This is a day of stillness and peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Try to check in with God every hour today. When you hear the clock chime, if you have a grandfather clock, if not, when a bell rings, or try every hour just to bring the thought to your mind. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Find something to give God thanks for during that sweet hour of prayer, or that sweet moment of prayer every hour, we should say. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Thank you for joining me. This is a day of stillness and of peace.